What's up, everyone? Playing Cloud again, and guess what? I just got a new job. As it might be apparent from what I'm wearing, I'm back being a chef, baby. And today, we're going to be talking about my knife roll. What do I carry? And if you're going to be getting into this industry, what should you have with you? Things to consider, things to have, and what to buy within your price range. Don't blow your budget, especially when you're trying to live on a budget. So let's get into it. And before I get started, go check out W Energy. Use code BUTTONCLUB at checkout. Tons of great flavors. They're coming out with new ones. I even got a little bit of insider information. They're going to come out with some great shakers pretty soon too. So go check it out and stay tuned on their website. Save yourself 10% off using code BUTTONCLUB. Thank you. Alright guys, here is my good old trusty knife roll. This thing has been with me through thick and thin. I mean, this thing is verging nearly on 10 years old. So as you can tell, before anyone comments, why is it so dirty? Because it's been through war. It has been through some absolute horrendous, horrible things. And it just keeps going and I can't stop it. Now, people who are smart have probably wondered, the hell is this? And this is one thing I actually really advocate people do. If you're trying to be a true chef, carry your own apron. It makes a world of difference. I like to keep mine just kind of rolled up right here on the side. Normally when I get in, first thing I do is I just take it, get it unraveled, boom, apron ready to go. The first thing I do every single time I walk into the kitchen is I get my apron on. My apron is essential to me. I don't like using provided aprons to me because a lot of times they suck. As you can see with the old pinstripe apron, pirate style, I have my own pockets. Great for stuffing towels or stuffing snacks, whatever you need, can go in here. Essential. Another thing is too, is gonna be the neck band. You see how thick that thing is? It's gonna sit on your neck comfortably compared to a shoelace that is basically on those store provided aprons that just absolutely dig into you the more you work. You have storage, you have comfort, all around great thing to carry with you. And as you can see, you can roll up real small and carry it on your roll with you. Normally, this is actually my emergency apron. This is my real apron. This is a crossback apron, so that way it doesn't even sit on my neck. It sits on my shoulders, and I could easily tie off like a regular apron. I don't really use this front pocket. I might keep my thermometer or my Sharpie right here. Just quick, easy grab. Got those front pockets too. Very essential for me. And you can easily pick, this one was only $15. I have more expensive aprons. They're just not with me. But these are pretty essential for my job. I strongly, strongly advocate looking in and buying your own aprons. Find ones that work for you and your style, and you will never look back. These are essential. Also, just real quick, this is another crossback apron. It's been hard to find this brand recently, Bibzilla, but these are absolutely workhorses. They have these little loops on the side for towels. They're meant for tongs, but don't do that. Don't ever do that inside of a kitchen. Just put your towels right here. Carry some backups. They even have these other pockets for, again, your hands or whatever you want to put in there. Got your towel loops on both sides. They still have that front pocket, but I don't do that again. Normally what I do with this apron is I'll keep emergency gloves. Keep those a secret because that is not health code compliant. But normally I'll keep some emergency gloves in here, towels in this one, and my Sharpie with my probe in this one. Probe meaning thermometer. But yeah, usually I keep my probe and my Sharpies in here, backup gloves, towel, And you're not supposed to carry towels with you because towels are only supposed to be in sanitizer buckets or inside a stored clean area. But if nobody's going to snitch, I'll also carry one on my towel loop too, just for a quick, easy grab. Just another thing to consider whenever you're looking at aprons to buy. Alright, now it's time to get into the main event right here, the knife roll. Tons of magic being held in by 2 simple quick buckles. Now, my knife roll is kind of empty because I'm getting back into things. I usually keep 2 probes and 2 Sharpies with some backup Sharpies in here. I need to get my Sharpie collection back up. And I also need to go find my probes. Not quite sure where those are. But let's start off with the most obvious thing right here. Slicing knife. This is a cheap Mercer slicing knife. Be sure to get you an edge guard. I keep it out here. It's not a great place for it because if my knife roll goes vertical at any point, it does slide out sometimes. I do need to be very mindful of that. But if you're doing fish or whatever you need it for, some people like to use these for brisket. I'm not a big fan of that. I have another knife in here that I use for brisket if I'm cutting like cooked brisket. But I usually use this for fish. I find that to be a great thing to get like salmon skin off. Just nice long knife, nice easy cut, very sharp, very thin, very accurate. I love this thing. Next is going to be... Oh, look, I do have Sharpie in here. Boom. This, I used to have a knife guard for it, and it might be in here. It doesn't look like it, but this used to have a knife guard on it, and I actually used to use this as a cheap pocket knife, basically, for breaking down boxes or cutting open bags. I used to keep this inside my apron. Again, it had a knife guard on it. I need to look for it, but... So I used to just keep this with me, you know, do things I wouldn't want to do with my regular kitchen knives in there. You know, this is a cheap $10 beer knife that I got off Amazon. Great, it's great though. I love this thing. I would not trade it out for any other knife. When saying that, if I'm opening boxes, this is actually a ceramic box opener. That little ceramic blade hook right there, great for just cutting open tape, or you can kind of do boxes with it. Not really too great, but if you're just trying to make a quick, simple gash in something, this works wonders. Next up is going to be Blade Balm. Shout out to my man over at MK Knives. This is actually somebody I used to play video games with. This guy not only hand makes knives, but also makes Blade Balm, which is essentially cocoa butter, shea butter, and a few other essential oils. So if you have high carbon knives and if you don't want them to rust out or anything, Blade Balm is absolutely essential. I love this stuff. There's a lot of other things that you can use like mineral oil in place of this, but this is highly, highly worth it. Please go check out MK Knives. I'm not sponsored or anything, just a homie from back in the day doing great things. Next up is my Cintas key. If you work in the industry, these are pretty good to keep on hand for emergencies. Cintas is the people who does your soaps. They do your dispenser stuff like toilet paper or paper towels, napkins, and all that. Having one of these keys with you when everyone loses theirs, like management, and then you can be the hero to save the day with a Cintas key. Great thing to have. I don't know if I'm allowed to have this, but I have it and I'm keeping it. Next up is going to be naproxen, ibuprofen, Tylenol, Aleve, whatever you like to carry with you. As you can see here, this is basically out. Everyone will love you for sharing with them, and you're going to love yourself for keeping this with you. Next up is going to be some drink essentials. Mio. Everyone in the kitchen loves Mio. Whenever you forget your Red Bull, Monster, C4, Ghost, whatever have you, having a quick little thing of Mio on you is great. And not only that, but keeping some essential electrolytes with you. This is some SOS, some Propel. Whenever you feel a little bit down, the dumps a little bit sick, a little bit groggy, and your caffeine isn't picking you back up, try some electrolytes. You'll be surprised. That's it for my support pouch. Next up, in this little pocket right here, I keep not one oyster knife, but 2 oyster knives. I don't really want to advertise the restaurant I got this from because I don't like them anymore, but they do make a good oyster knife. Just your basic run-of-the-mill oyster knife. This is another one that I got that has a slight hook on it. Sometimes you have an odd-shaped oyster, so it's nice to use that little bit of a hook to get in there and just kind of pry up, push up. A lot of times I end up just using this, just for basic shucking. But again, having an oyster knife or 2 with you, if it's something that you have done or will do, it's just a great tool to keep with you. And I just like to keep them right here. I don't use them all the time. Maybe like once or twice a year, but hey, I have them. And it's nice. And it's nice to use my own tools compared to having to rely on somebody else for their tools. Alright, now it's time for the piece de resistance. Get this unzipped real quick. And this changes inside depending on what I'm doing. Mainly depending if it's a brunch service or not. Oh yeah, I can already hear a bunch of judgment right now. First off, let's just get this out of the way. My bench scraper. I usually do pastas, or if I'm working on grill, something where I just need to scoop a lot of stuff and move a lot of product real quicker. Or even if I'm working on prep and if I'm just having to scoop up a bunch of stuff off my cutting board and move it to a Cambro real quick. Having one of these is real nice. It keeps the area clean, makes everything a little bit easier. I do need to be careful because this thing does have a blade on it. It is relatively sharp enough to cut vegetables, cut meat, cut a finger. So that's something I do need to be smart about whenever I do this. Whenever I do use this, I mean. Alright, well, let's work right to left here. First off, got my little cleaver given to me by my fiance. I didn't think I was going to like this thing when she first gave it to me, because she gave it to me with the intentions of me using it for butchery. And as y'all can tell, this is way too thin, way too small. This is only like a 3.5 to 4 inch cleaver. But this thing is wicked sharp. And I love this for cutting scallions, cutting chives, cutting herbs in general. It's super sharp. I'm able to just do really, really quick, fine mincing chops, scoop stuff up, move over to my Cambro, toss it down. And it even came with its own knife guard. She's just like me. She saw this on sale for like $8-10, and she immediately thought about me. And she's just like me. Good deal, can't pass up. I love this thing. Next up, my 6-inch Dull Strong chef knife. I mainly use this for doing chickens. If I have to break down chickens, spatchcocking, doing quarters, or doing half chickens, this thing is amazing. It's in a similar shape of a Honeski, which is a Japanese chicken boning knife. It's not meant for that, but it's in a similar shape profile, and it works amazing for what I do. And this thing has been through, again, hell and back. This thing has probably done 3, 4, 5,000 chickens. That's not even an exaggeration. Just a great knife. Very rock solid. It's like a 62 Rockwell. All Dull Strong knives are like 62 Rockwell. Very hard, very dense, great metal, and I love that knife. Next up, this is from Tojiro, and excuse my dog that chewed on this. Literally, I was sharpening it one day, walked away to go use the bathroom, came back, and he was pulled it down with his teeth. I know, but it gives my knife character. But this is my Tojiro Nakiri. Very sharp, very great knife. If I'm doing a ton of vegetables, if I'm going to cut 1,000 tomatoes, this is one of the reasons why I keep Blade Bomb with me. This is a high carbon steel knife. As y'all can see through the patina on here, it has been used a ton. And I take care of this knife like I take care of myself. Again, another very essential knife. This thing was only like $60 at the time of purchase, I believe. And I cannot express to you how much I use and love this knife. I've used it for everything. And I still keep it in the original wax paper that I came in because I have not bought a knife guard for it yet. I love this thing, and I mean, I would buy this again. I heavily recommend this knife. Now, this knife might be a little bit hard to get a hold of, and I was very lucky to be given this knife by one of my chefs. This is an Ed Don offset serrated knife. As you notice, this is actually a only single bevel serrated knife. I used to use this to cut sushi. I use it to cut brisket, bread, of course, but a ton of great things could be done with the offset serrated single bevel serrated knife. Now, it's hard to find one of these. I tried buying another one at one point for a gift to my brother. And I know there's other companies besides Ed Don that makes them, but I particularly like Ed Don whenever it comes down to this particular style knife. And I mean, it's just a great knife. I used it for everything from cutting sushi, cutting brisket, breads, anything that you can think of with a offset serrated knife can be done with this thing. Highly, highly recommend it. And this is a ceramic honing steel that I actually got off Amazon. Don't know the brand of it or anything. There is no brand on it. But one side is a 2000, and this rough texture side right here is actually 1000 grit. So if I'm really, really needing to hone in my knives, I could do a 1000, 2000, 1000, 2000, and they're back to being razor sharp in like a matter of 30 seconds. If you're using knives that you actually care about, do not get a honing steel, or honing rod in this case. Get a ceramic one. They also make stropping, ones made out of leather, to be a stropping rod. Me, I don't have the space, as y'all can tell, but I do heavily, heavily recommend getting yourself a ceramic honing rod. And yes, that thing has been used for so close to 10 years. I maybe bought it 6 months after buying this knife roll. And yes, I do need to clean out this knife roll a little bit. I usually just use Shout. Shout is a type of fabric spray. So normally what I'll do is I'll take this out and I'll spray it down with Shout. And then I'll take a toothbrush with water and I'll just squirt it all out. And I'll leave it in a nice sunny area that's inside. I don't want to leave it outside. I'll leave it inside and I'll let it just air dry. And Shout works great. It makes this thing look brand new. Now, I know what y'all thinking. Probably looking at this crazy, shitty thing that I made when I had no tools. But we're not going to get to that yet. We're going to get to this little guy hiding right down here. Also from Tojiro. And inside another paper towel knife sheath that I made when I was at the kitchen one day. Because I have not had time to make its own sheath yet, like this other one. But it's my petty. And I like to use this thing for, of course, small tasks. If I'm having to do a lot of very detailed, intricate knife work, this petty is amazing. Again, razor sharp, and whatever you can think of using a small knife for. It's longer than a paring knife. Like, this is your average length paring knife right here. And as you can see, blade length, bolster to bolster, the petty is going to be longer. It's hard to find a petty this long. I want to say this is like a 5-inch petty. And I've used this for a ton of things. It's kind of like my random knife for whenever I think like I'm doing something small. I don't want to be using this knife all day because it is a small knife. If I'm doing a lot of small things all day, I'm still going to be using one of my other knives. But this thing is great backup. I usually keep it with me on station just in case. I guess you can call it a good luck charm at that point. Alright. Now, time for my favorite knife. One knife that I bought, and this is a Tojiro knife, the same as this Nakiri and the same as this petty. This Tojiro knife I put a lot of love and time into, and my dog still fucked it up. Because My dog pulled down this knife after he was done with this knife. Yeah, he got this thing pretty good. I'm not even mad at him anymore. Unfortunately, he passed away a few years ago. So now, every single time I see his bite marks on this knife, I can't help but feel a little bit nostalgic, a little bit happy, knowing that there's still a little bit of him going with me. But this is the one knife where I got this. This is called a wall handle, a traditional Japanese wall handle. I actually bought it off of Etsy from a small manufacturer who makes these by hand. This is a walnut one. Great knife. I love it. Great handle. It's super comfy, and they're unfortunately out of business. I was hoping to get one for my knockery and for my petty at one point, but it was actually right around COVID era when I got this, and it had to ship from overseas, not from Japan. It was actually a French artisan who was making these, and it was sent by boat. COVID, it was around some time COVID restrictions with shipping was happening, so this took like 2 months to get to me. At one point, I thought I got ripped off because the tracking on the boat went out, but luckily it showed up on my doorstep, and I've been happy with it ever since. This is before I owned tools, before I was doing any real woodworking or anything. As you can see, the glue up on this thing is absolutely atrocious. I might actually break this open and redo it at some point. But this is another walnut sheath. Sheaths are actually pretty easy to make. I'm just at the time I just wasn't as proficient as I am now. But I made this a sheath. I was planning to do a lot more work to it, but then life got in the way. And I mean, it's still a good sheath. I still would highly recommend making your own sheaths, not just running around with paper like I am. But yeah, and here it is. Now I've used this to do everything from sushi, fish, pork, beef, chicken, every single type of vegetable that you can think of. And I mean, if I remember correctly, the word Santoku actually means three virtues. And a lot of people don't know what those three virtues are. A lot of people think it's something like vegetable, pork, and chicken, something along those lines, but this is my absolute favorite knife. The balance to it is absolutely perfect. I took it out from its original handle and I put it on this one, and if I'm not wearing gloves, it fits my hand perfectly, and I can do so many great things with this knife. This is my go-to knife for just about everything. And again, check out Tojiro Knives. This was also a $60 knife. The wall handle was another $40, so altogether this is now a $100 knife. And I absolutely, absolutely love this thing. Cannot recommend Tojiro Knives enough. They are on the cheaper end of Japanese knives, but these are still handmade Japanese knives. And you can tell with the build quality that the people who make these by hand absolutely care. And I mean, I can't say enough good things about this knife. I'm blushing a little bit just thinking about how much I've used this knife in the kitchen. It's usually my go-to. I mean, it's my baby for sure. Over here, another Santoku made by Mercer. I don't like this knife. I hate the handle right here. But whenever somebody goes, "Hey James, can I borrow one of your knives? Because I know your knives are sharp." This is the knife I give them. I bought this for like $15 on an Amazon sale. So every time somebody needs a knife, here you go. I'm not going to risk one of my other very expensive knives because that's what I used to do. Like this one, for example, we'll see when we get to it. But yeah, if you lend your knife to somebody, you either really like them or you just really want to get them off your back. And with this knife right here, this was actually my very first ever expensive purchase. Expensive. It's $100. It's a $125 chef knife. Chef knives can go anywhere from anywhere from $20 for a cheap brand like Mercer. if you're trying to get a cheap $20 one like Mercer, buy Victorinox. It might be $5 to $10 more, but Victorinox is a lot better in my opinion. Their handles are a lot more more comfortable than Mercer. The metal is also a lot better. They sharpen a lot easier too. And overall, I think Victorinox is just better than Mercer. My opinion. Again, buy what you like, not what I like. A lot of people do not like Dull Strong, and I see why. Because this knife compared to this knife is absolutely heavy. This is a completely overdone beast of a knife. This thing is heavy, heavy, heavy. So if you're using this all day, your hands, they're gonna feel it. They're gonna feel it by the end of the day. Compared to using a very lightweight, sharp knife like this one, this knife is still sharp. It'll still, shave your face, no problem. But this is my first purchase of a chef knife, and I love this thing. Now, right off the bat, yes, the tip is broken. Remember how I said whenever you lend somebody your knife, you either really like them or you're really trying to get them off your back? I was trying to get somebody off my back, and I let them borrow my knife, and next thing I know, the tip is broken. And this metal is 62 Rockwell. It's insanely hard, insanely dense metal. And I do not have the time or the whetstone or the diamond grit stones to reprofile it to give her a new tip. So I just keep it like this. And I mean, it's still a workhorse of a knife. With high carbon steel knives, they patina and rust insanely quick. When I say insanely quick, we're talking about minutes. So if you do not take care of these knives as you're using them throughout the day, you can damage them and ruin your day and your knife. But with a stainless steel knife, you could be a lot more liberal with it. You can leave it dirty even for a few days. Don't do that, but you can, and they'll clean off like nothing. So if I'm ever doing something where I know I might not get back to cleaning my knife for 2 to 5 minutes, I'll probably grab this knife, a stainless steel knife, and I'll use this on the line with me. Usually I'll do all my dirty work with it, and I'll do all my fine work with this. Again, very sharp, very good knives. Dull Strong, I'm not sponsored by them, but I do recommend buying their knives if you're into these knives. Wusthof, Shun, they're a little bit more expensive, but a lot of people prefer Wusthof and Shun over Dull Strong. And again, you could just buy a Victorinox knife or a Mercer if you like Mercer for $25-$30, and they'll perform just the same, maybe even a little bit better than some of these $100 knives. Now, the one thing that I will say that to think about whenever you're working inside the kitchen, and I don't have it with me, I am actually letting my mom borrow it, is a silicone fish spatula. Now, a fish spatula is similar to a regular spatula, but it's going to be skinny at the bottom, wide at the top, and a lot longer than your regular spatula. This is another plastic silicone type spatula. And the reason why I would recommend keeping one of those with you is not only, of course, for fish, but believe it or not, for eggs. It's nice and easy just to pick up an egg on a non-stick pan. Do not use a metal spatula or anything else on non-stick pans besides plastic, silicone, or wood. It's nice to have a nice, long, fat end with a skinny body, so that way if I'm picking up a piece of fish, easy, boom. If I'm picking up eggs with it, it's nice to just grab it, boom, flip it. And again, I recommend keeping a spatula that you like that's either, again, plastic, wood, or silicone. And I would usually leave this knife at home, and I would put it there. But yeah, this is not mine. It was my brother's fiance's, as you can tell by the pink handle. But yeah, that's one thing that I would try out in this roll, depending on what I'm doing. Another thing would be tongs, also silicone or plastic. And if I'm doing that, it's probably like a brunch that I'm doing or something like that. So I would probably leave this at home because I wouldn't be doing much butchery or anything. I would just leave this at home, and everything else I would normally carry with me. So you're probably asking yourself, these are a lot of knives. How many of them am I realistically going to use a day? Well, if I'm going in there knowing that I'm going to be doing not only cooking on line, but a little bit of line prep too, or I might even need to go do regular prep to back up those guys, I'm grabbing this knife, this knife, this knife, and my serrated knife, and I'm also pulling out my ceramic honing rod. Ugh, it's hard. This is harder doing it with these gloves on. Usually, of course, I either do this with Nyril gloves or I'm doing this barehanded. The first thing I do when I get inside the kitchen. Let me get this back in the paper. Boom. These are my first go-to knives. Now, depending on what I'm doing, I might pull out this knife and this knife. If I'm doing butchery that day too, of course, this knife. As I say, hey, Bunny, you're going to be breaking down salmon today, then yes, I'm going to be pulling out this knife. But other than that, usually these are my 4 go-to knives. And I'll get a third pan, either a deep or shallow, depending on what's on hand. And I'll put a towel in there just to comfort the tips. Of course, I don't want them banging against metal or the plastic, either scratching the pan or denting my knives. I don't want that, so I'll usually put a towel in there. So that way that doesn't happen. I'll put all of them inside the third pan. I'll label it, my name on there, Bunny Clava, of course. And this thing I usually wrap with a towel, and then I put on top of that, because this is ceramic. It's just like a dinner plate. It will break if you put it underneath stress, and I don't want to do that. So this is something that I would baby as much as the rest of these knives. And yeah, usually these are my 4 go-tos. And again, I cannot recommend having this set up enough. I've done absolutely crazy things. And again, the only thing that would change if I'm doing brunch, boom, I put my spatula with it. If I'm doing pastas or anything, boom, I put that with it. And all I do is I keep that third pan in my station in a nice safe area. If I'm on the line cooking, I usually keep these 2. One on either end of my table, usually like this. This one I would not keep the sheath on it. I would actually wrap it inside of a towel. And again, I would keep this honing rod near me and pretty easy to grab within my line of sight in case I need to hone up either one of my knives or anything like that. Again, keep track of all your stuff when you're inside the kitchen. Trust yourself, do not trust idiots. And who you work with idiots. Even if you're working with the most experienced chef, they'll do stupid things without thinking. So think ahead, keep your very nice, expensive knives safe, and don't ruin your day by being an idiot like them. Keep track of your stuff, think ahead, and be sure to enjoy your time as well, working with these great tools. Alright, lastly, again, apron setup. This is normally how I run my apron, like I was saying before. Gloves on, because we're acting like we're in the kitchen. So my gloves are on. I'm working. I get done cutting something. I usually keep a towel right here with me. These are my builder's towels, so that's why they have these nice little ornamental Grinch style graphics on them. Love these. But again, normally when I'm in the kitchen, I'll keep my apron tied up front. I don't like tying them in the back. I like to tie them up front, so that way when I'm working, I can easily grab my towel, clean my knife off real quick, put it down, or if I'm working on saute or working with hot pans, I can easily grab my towel, grab the pan handle, work from there. Or even, let's just say I'm here working and I see somebody over there just like, does anyone have a towel? Grab it, and I'll just throw it to them. Very essential. But let's say this towel is too dirty. I throw it inside whatever waste bin we have, or I go take it to the linen bin, and then boom, I keep my backup. Again, these are my brother's towels. These aren't actual kitchen towels. But again, grab them, keep it right there, I'm back at it. So again, if I need to grab hot pans, cleaning off my knife, wiping down my station real quick. Oh, what's that? Jose, you need a towel? Boom, take it. I don't care. I'll go grab more. Always keep towels inside your station. Always stash them inside your station. It might not be health code compliant to where you are, but if it keeps your station clean, don't even stress about it. But now my gloves are dirty, so I'll take them off, throw them away. Boom, got backup ones. I'm just going to throw them on real quick. Now, depending on how busy I am, I might keep a whole half of a box, so full box worth of gloves right here. That sounds crazy and insane, but if you're taking off your gloves and washing your hands and doing everything correctly as much as you should be inside of a kitchen, and if you're a chef, a prep cook, whatever have you, you will easily go through a box glove or maybe even a box and a half worth of gloves. I used to work and I'm about to go work in a very close proximity kitchen where there's a lot of potential for cross-contamination. There's going to be a lot of times where I might debate whether or not I want to take off my gloves. If you think about taking off your gloves, take off your gloves. If you think about washing your hands, wash your hands. It's that simple. Keep it simple, stupid, or stupid, simple people. And yes, you might be a smart individual yourself, but the more you keep it simple, the more you can get done throughout the day. Do not overcomplicate things. Secondly, is you might be asking, what's a good way to tie my apron? So I'm gonna untie my apron real quick. Pull it to you. Yes, I'm gonna lose a little bit of weight. That's one of the things I mentioned in my knife sharpening video. Pull these forward. I don't do this in my crossback aprons because my crossback aprons actually don't reach this far up. If you have one of these Chef Works or Chef Apparel aprons, just your normal pinstripe standard apron, these things are everywhere. I like to pull mine tight, pull it forward, and then I'll do a boat docker's tie, which is where you put it through like a regular knot like this. I just do it one more time. Pull it tight. And then this is the secret right here. Hold it. Make a loop with one end. Hold it again with your hand that's holding this loop. Grab your other side. And pretend like you're going to make a loop like you're tying a shoelace. But don't do it completely. And then pull. God, I feel like an idiot. Normally I do it so quickly that I don't even think about it. Pretend like you're tying a regular knot, basically. And before you pull it tight, make a loop inside and cinch it down just like that. And the reason why is because when it's time off, see this one short end compared to this long end? I grab that short end. Apron's ready to come off. So again, pull it tight, pull it around, do a double knot just like that, hold it tight, and pretend like you're going to do a regular knot, but instead of pulling it all the way through, you only pull part of it through. So again, you leave one side hanging out with one loop coming through just like that. And then whenever the day is over, your apron's ready to take off and you're ready to go. Alright, well, those are all the tips and tricks I have for people who are getting started in the industry. There's a lot more tips and tricks that I could tell you about, but I would need to demonstrate them to you, and it's very, very job specific. I'm in Austin, Texas, so my health code requirements might not be the same as your health code requirements. Talk to your chefs, talk to your managers, whatever have you, and talk to them about what's okay and what's not okay. Another thing I would really recommend too is looking for chef coats, not aprons. They have little either side pockets right here, or some of them will actually have them right here. And those are for your thermometers, pens, probes, wherever have you. So be sure to find some that have these little pockets either right here or right here. So that way when you need them, boom, Sharpie, your probes, wherever you need, right there, ready to go. And whenever you're looking at chef coats to buy vented chef coats. Do not buy completely solid chef coats that are made out of 100% cotton. You're going to burn yourself to death in those things when it gets hot. Don't do it. This one has a big vent in the back. So as I'm working, I normally don't wear a long sleeve shirt. I usually actually wear, one moment. I usually actually wear a shirt like this, which might look like a regular shirt and might be kind of hard to show on camera, but these are actually completely vented mesh. You can buy these. Look for synthetic athletic shirts, and you'll find ones like these. These are 100% completely vented. You might even be able to see through it a little bit. That's good. So as I'm working, this vents out everything. So if I'm sweating, this will vent my sweat. And I don't want to absorb into my chef coat. I want another vent either on my back. Some of them might have them on the sides right here. You want those vents to help keep you cool. That's actually a big thing. I have seen people pass out from heat exhaustion inside the kitchen before. It does get that hot. If you're working on a station that uses like a charcoal grill or even just a regular gas grill, you're going to want to keep yourself cool. Do not buy 100% fully wrapped up cotton chef coats. You're going to hate your life, and it's going to be completely uncomfortable the moment you start to sweat. Always wear an undershirt underneath your chef coats. These are coats, not chef shirts. These are chef coats. You wear a shirt beneath your coat. Like you normally wear a regular hoodie, you wear something beneath your hoodie. So yeah, be sure to buy yourself some really nice vintage shirts like this. Again, I bought these off Amazon. I love Amazon. If you can't tell already with all my other bullshit that I've been wearing. I bought this off Amazon. A pack of 6, I think, cost like 30 to 40 bucks. I cannot recommend getting yourself buy yourself a dozen of these. You might wear them every single day like a regular shirt. That's what I end up doing. So I need a lot of these for work. I need a lot of these for my basic regular life. And again, I cannot recommend getting yourself vintage shirts enough. Get yourself a good chef coat that you're comfortable wearing. If you're provided chef coats, good. Use those chef coats and buy more for just when you're going restaurant to restaurant like I am, or I do private catering too. I do private chef stuff, so I don't want another company's logo on my chef coat as I'm doing that stuff, so I buy my own coats anyway. That's another reason why I buy my own aprons. But yeah, I cannot recommend getting yourself a good shirt, good chef coat, buy yourself good aprons, and be sure you know the environment that you're working in. That's the biggest thing, because not all companies use black chef coats. Some of them use white. I worked at Papados for a little bit. We used white chef coats there exclusively, and I hated that because the ones that they provided us were 100% wrapped up, sealed cotton chef coats. Those things were hot to wear. Even if I wore my nice vintage shirts beneath them, I was still pouring sweat from that cotton insulation around me all day. Materials to think about is, of course, going to be polyester, spandex, mixed with cotton chef coats. So that way they still have this nice cotton look to them, but they're polyester, so they're going to feel real comfy. They're going to have a little bit of spandex for stretching and doing stuff around, reaching up above your head, wherever have you. Those are the 3 materials I would want inside a chef coat. This one is a mixture of polyester, cotton, and spandex. This is made by Chef Code. Chef Works makes really good ones as well. Be sure to buy Vinted. Be sure to double check what you're buying too. Don't just buy something that just says chef coat. A lot of them are absolute garbage. You want good products to be wearing. This apron was made by Chef Works, not Chef Code. Chef Code does make ones very similar to this, but this particular one is a Chef Works apron. I love this apron a lot, and this is usually my go-to apron. If not, it's going to be one of my crossback aprons, depending on what I'm doing throughout the day. If I'm working on the line or if I'm trying to look more professional, personally, in my opinion, wearing a pinstripe apron kind of looks a little bit more classy. But if I'm absolutely going balls to the wall and I'm not going to be taking no for an answer, and the only answer that I'm going to be giving and receiving all day is just going to be yes, chef, I'm wearing my crossbacks. So it just really depends on what I'm doing. The one thing I do like about this apron, let me see if I can do it without messing everything up. Yeah, is I'll actually take this, and again, very dependent on what I'm doing, but I'll make it into a nice little half bistro apron just like this. So if I'm doing expo or something like that, and I just want to look a little bit more managerialistic, I like to do the old half bistro look. The half bistro look, real classy, but again, depends on what you're doing. If I'm doing something like grill, saute, fry cooking, I'm gonna have my apron fully up. If I'm gonna be head chef for the day, team lead, whatever, I'm gonna mark myself by doing the half bistro look. That's just me personally. A lot of other opinions out there. If I'm wearing my crossback aprons, then it's gonna be a real work-filled day. But again, think about what you're doing, think about your position, think about how you want to be perceived inside the kitchen, think about think about the chef you want to be. That's the most important thing. The chef you want to be will dictate the knives that you buy, the coats that you buy, the aprons that you buy. It'll dictate the way how you act and carry yourself inside the kitchen. Non-slip shoes. These are actually my favorite ones. These have been through, again, absolute hell and back. These are New Balance, slip resistant, oil resistant, non-slip shoes. These are absolutely comfy. Right here, all of this is just basically all mesh. The venting to these is great. They're comfy. Your feet will stay cool, maybe even a little bit cold, depending. But yeah, I absolutely love New Balance's non-slip shoes. They are a little bit expensive. A pair of these will normally run around $100, so they're not going to be your Treadlite $20 Walmart shoes. These are going to be $100 investments. That's what these are. These are investments, just like the rest of your knives, just like your aprons and your chef coats. These are all investments. So invest in something nice for your feet. If your feet hurt every single day, you will want to stay off your feet, and that's going to translate to your work. So be sure to wear stuff that you want to wear. Be sure that you're comfortable in what you're wearing, so that way you're comfortable while you're working, and you'll want to work and be a good chef. And this video is made for somebody who has the chef mentality, not for a line cook who just wants a paycheck. This video will still work for you, but please understand that there's a difference between being a line cook, being a prep cook, and being a chef. That might start a big debate depending on who watches this, but yeah, if you're going to be a chef, you're going to have that mentality that you want to take everything to another step. You're going to want to make everything more detailed, and you're going to care about those details, because that's going to affect the customer, that's going to affect the people around you, it's going to affect the way how you feel, and the way how you feel is the way how you work. So just please consider what you're doing. Please consider who you want to be as a chef. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you for watching. If you actually watched all the way through to the end, I really appreciate it. Please leave a like and a comment. You'll be surprised how much those help me, help YouTube, promote me, so that way other people can discover this channel, and for me just keep doing more things with passion. Because I am a chef, I carry a lot of passion with me for what I do. So please, let's keep that going. Thank you. I appreciate all of you for watching. Go check out W Energy. Be sure to buy yourself a tub, some shaker cups, so that way when you go to work, if you don't have your Red Bull Monster or anything like that, you have your W Energy. It costs about $1 per day to drink W Energy after you, of course, initially buy it. And not only will you feel better throughout your day and more energized, you will not crash out compared to a lot of other energy drinks. Big thing I actually really, really like about W, there is no crash. So as I'm going up, going up, going up, I just stay at a nice constant level throughout my day. Makes me feel a lot better, makes my work feel a lot better too. So go check out W Energy, use code BunnyClava at checkout, save yourself 10% off that initial purchase and every purchase going forward. That really helps me, that really helps the channel. And thank you again for watching, and be a good chef. Tons of other videos out there about what it means to be a chef. If y'all want me to make a video talking about what it is to be a chef and not just a wine cook, I'll make that video. But yeah, thank you again for watching. I really appreciate it. Peace.